This is Wander and Perch. Wander and Perch submitted their website. It's a very specific thing to buy for a specific use case. And I am very curious. So number one, is Wander and Perch here today?
Yes, I am. Hi there.
Amazing. Hi, Allison.
Hi.
Great to meet you. Tell us a little bit about this product and how it came to be and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for showcasing us. So kind of interesting. I'll kind of talk through the brand really quick, but an interesting and kind of a different, stint at it. I'm not the founder. I'd actually acquired this company in the spring this year. And so right now we're actually going through a big brand refresh, this being a huge part of it. So I thought it's a perfect opportunity to actually, we're undergoing the entire retheme and a change of the product just from a visual sense, but as well the website. And so, yeah, really curious to see your take. And I think kind of how it will align to what we want the brand to be, what it is now as well. But yeah, we make premium waterproof bags that are used predominantly for travel, really to be inspired by like coastal escapes and by, chasing after the sun and all those moments that we all chase and live by, whether you are at the beach or you're in travel and you want to make sure you have that reassurance that your wet items aren't soaking or leaking into your luggage, or you are changing from the beach or the pool to night and you want to have that security. So that's kind of the gist. We want to chase those nostalgic moments, but we also, what makes us unique is we work with brands to kind of have, whether it be co-branding. So Maybelline, as an example, launched a waterproof mascara. So they will then brand on this, or a lot of resorts as well, even corporate gifting and for different events. So we kind of want it to be a lifestyle forward platform that allows people and companies to share their stories, allow for brand expression, and have, a functional and beautifully designed kind of travel accessory.
Awesome. That's a great overview. I have one last question before we start.
Yeah.
Who is your customer? Who are they?
They are typically a woman aged 35 to 45, 50 or so, who, loves to live for those moments of traveling and just spending time with the family or friends, whatever it may be. But I think it's predominantly, how can I live for these moments where I'm taking care of me, I'm having that slow living and that calm, kind of peaceful environment.
Awesome. Well, listen, you've got two ladies who live by the beach and two of us are surfers with children. So I have a lot of thoughts are running through my brain right now, but let's start with Keegan.
So I'm a big fan of wet bags, and when my friends get pregnant, it's like the first gift I get them, because as a mom, they're a lifesaver. It's my most used item. So I love this. My first, just seeing it, I know what it is. I have a really hard job of user awareness of the category, because it's not something that people see every day, but it's also a benefit. I think the videos and this image don't convey what it does, and it kind of pigeonholes. All the videos on the website are someone standing next to the ocean holding a bag, and that's not how you use it. So that's I think video or just showing a bathing suit coming out of this would do a lot of work for you.
Yep, totally agree.
And these featured that should be up. That should be above the fold.
Above the fold, yes, absolutely. Or possibly in the hero image itself. I also wonder if the hero might be taking up a little bit too much real estate, the size of it.
And the logo.
Yeah, that was my first. I think you've got a lot going on. Really, it's going really well in terms of storytelling and definition of what the product is. But my first reaction was to the spacing. on the site and the layout. And I do feel like on desktop, and I was actually just looking at mobile on my phone. Yeah, like you can see the top bar takes up a lot of space that you could be using for more like meaty content. Same thing with that text there. It's a little kind of over large. So I think it sounds like you are refining a lot of that, but I think that'll give you some more space to like, let's pull up social proof, let's swap in new photos. And I think also a lot you can do there with the mega menu, like instead of shop, like make it so that every category is blown out. So I see like, oh, okay, these are like, it sounds like you're doing a lot with collaborations or style, different use cases. So I think pulling that up into the menu at the very top level instead of hiding it below shop would be great.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I love that you use the word use cases because on the last CRO Live Lab, also Katie's, we had a travel cup. So it's basically a travel cup that compressed down, but of good quality material, just not like some tchotchke that you would get at a conference. But they, kind of similar to you, always had their product shot in a camping situation. And the feedback is like, well, does this limit the user's mind in what it's for? So thinking like everything, like, yes, it makes sense. It makes sense at the beach, but like as a mom of like kids, I'm like, you can throw your like, dirty kid spoon in there as you're traveling. You could throw it in your diaper bag. So use case is the opportunity for you to grow, especially since you kind of already established this nut of customers, it feels like. And as well, that might be something that I would highly recommend that you introduce in your navigation and wayfinding. Like, let's take a look at this navigation altogether. Keegan, what are some recommendations that you would have, like in terms of like the user coming here, coastal, island, resort? What are your thoughts?
That's overwhelming. I would stick to like I saw on the homepage, there's male minimalist, there's the bridesmaids collection. Going back to like use cases, like you can have multiple colors in different collections, but the resort, island days, coastal, they all kind of actually mean the same thing. But yeah, naming them a bit more based on who you're talking to would be good.
Completely agree. And a lot of this is great feedback. And this is exactly why I wanted this, because these are all things that I want to touch and I'm anxiously awaiting being able to. So this is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where I think, for me, we're still getting a grasp around the core user. And so I think it is then really understanding and then highlighting, to your points, the use cases.
All right, let's do one last page and let's look at the product detail page itself. So say we've bought in, we're here, we're looking at your product. Let's see, this is what we call social proof. You've got your quantity, we've got a shop pay, add to cart. It's interesting. Oh, okay. I thought these were going to be accordions, actually. I thought they were going to be clickable. And then we've got an upsell, and then we've got the copy of the product detail page, and then some accordions for FAQs, and then another potential upsell and email list. What are your thoughts on this, Sarah?
So I think a few tests that I would call out or things I would want to look at. I agree, Mia, with you on those. I think it's just the lines in between the icons. So coming up with a lockup for those icons, I think they're great. And then also all of that expanded content that's text-based below. One of the tests we just saw results on was actually having that text in accordions, and specifically on mobile, the default is closed because people don't want to read on mobile. And so they just kind of want to see that it's there. They may or may not engage with those, but I think testing that out and defaulting them to closed seems like it's converting faster on mobile. The other thing I would just say, if you're in like your redesign right now, looking at, are people using Shop Pay for your product, and do you need this here? or can it just live in checkout? Because in some cases, it just adds a little bit more friction. They're thinking about it. And then I think you can do a little bit more, same as the last page, like kind of tightening up here. So does the quantity selector need to live in that way? But I'm sure your designer's looking at those things. But I think that other organization I would really look at and think about, where are the icons locked up? Where are we actually presenting information in accordions that we can show or hide as appropriate?
I'm bringing that all of those as featured in onto this page too. If someone goes directly to a page, they should see that.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I would, on the mobile environment, think about what are we actually trying to get the story to be, because we have all of this, like the original perfect for wet swimsuits, like, you know, you are, again, like writing these to sell it to somebody who is probably not reading very much. And so thinking about how can you visually communicate some of these things, like, you know, these are icons and text, but I think you also, you know, what are there, you know, some things in the imagery or other things that you can kind of pull on, illustrations that might indicate some of these value benefits too. And those are things like to test, like how does she or he make a decision on this, and what do they need to know? And not only what are the words, but what is the visual communication looking like to quickly get it. All right, thank you so much for being vulnerable as well.
No, thank you so much. Very insightful feedback and really, really appreciate it.
All right, awesome.